Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Hugh's Reviews, the place for movie views and spoiler clues. Well, Merry Eastermas! What's that, you may ask? Well, that's where you buy up all the discounted Easter candy, trip balls on sugar, and watch the weirdest Christmas movie you can find. And have I got a good one for you? Mel Gibson's glorious beard and Walton Goggins' teeth face off, pun intended, in Fatman, a movie whose premise was so weird I had to see it. You see, Santa Claus, played by Gibson, is depressed and broke, so to make ends meet, he contracts his workshop out to the U.S. military. Meanwhile, a spoiled brat hires an assassin, played by Goggins, to take the jolly fella out in retribution for getting coal in his stocking. What? This sounds like the setup for a 3 a.m. B flick you'd half watch after last call, not something that would be made by serious filmmakers. But everyone involved in this production took this silly idea so seriously it somehow works. The descriptions of the movie as a action comedy or a dark comedy are a little misleading. You're not going to get a lot of laugh-out-loud moments here. It's mostly just cleverly amusing, and what comedy there is comes from the weird juxtaposition of the premise and the execution. First thing I really noticed was the characters. Kris Kringle in this premise sounds like he should be over-the-top mean or muscle-bound violent, but they dug so much deeper. They didn't go with the cheap and expected obese blubberball 3 cookies from a diabetic coma, but they made Kris a hard-working and husky guy with strong hands like a factory worker or a farmer. And his personality spot on matches the look. Santa is gruff because he's a genuinely good guy, weighed down by the decline of the Christmas spirit and his money troubles. And he's exactly who Santa would be, or should be. Kind, loving, well-meaning. There are hints of his magical otherworldliness, like how he seems to know every person's true heart, but it's played subtle and doesn't shove it in your face for cheap laughs. The way he and Mrs. Kringle interact, oh, it's so good. You really get a sense that these two have a real marriage, not some one-note cutesy kiddie story like you've seen before. The chemistry Gibson and Marianne Jean-Baptiste have is wonderful, and the way they support each other or flirt or even just hug and look into one another's eyes, it feels real. I got Rocky and Adrian vibes from these guys, and anybody who knows me knows how much that means. They've got a more beautiful and touching relationship than every romantic film I've seen in the last 15 years. And it's Santa and his old lady! I kind of found myself wondering how they met. Was he on a bender in jolly old England and they hit it off at a pub? Was she working in a Canadian toy factory and he was there to pitch a self-batting baseball? What's the story? Dish the goods, you lovebirds! And then you got Goggins, the dead-eyed assassin with an unhealthy obsession with Kringle, and his own counterpart, the sadistic brat who wants the fat man dead, played by Chance Hertzfeld. Goggins' character doesn't even get a name until the last 15 minutes of the movie, and is just called Skinny Man in the credits. He's a tightly wound spring with way too much dark energy, barely kept at bay, but the way Goggins plays him and his heartbreaking confrontation with Kris near the end of the movie makes this guy so much deeper than he needed to be if they wanted to make the whole thing a farce. There's layer upon layer to this guy, and when you contrast him and how he feels and deals with his inner turmoil against Kris and the way he feels and deals with his, you can see why they'd clash. But the clash isn't what you'd expect, and neither are the characters. It's all played pretty real. Billy the Brat, least subtle character in the whole thing. He's a rotten little monster who dresses like a politician in waiting and uses everyone around him like toilet paper. He's so over-the-top sadistic that at times it clashes with the subtlety in the rest of the movie, but hey, you need to believe this is the kind of kid that'd want Santa dead, and he got the job done. Hertzfeld isn't a bad actor. He did what he was told, and I bought it for what it was. I'll admit, I haven't seen any of the Nelms Brothers movies before this, but if this is how they work their craft, I'll definitely be watching more. Hardworking, smart, in-camera dedication. Fix it in post doesn't even seem to be in their vocabulary, and they cover the bases from word one. From site locations to lighting choices, connecting the characters across time and space, the way certain characters glance or move, it's all cleverly filmed, well written, wonderfully acted, and genuinely good. Sound design could have been a little better, but that's about it. It's not going to stir the good time family feels like Miracle on 34th Street, and it's not going to get the belly laughs like National Lampoons. But you want a truly original take on the Christmas season that pulls a few heartstrings and makes you laugh like a sociopath? This is your movie. And that's it for now from Hugh's Movie Reviews. You can find back episodes of the show and some sweet surprises on YouTube at Hugh's Movie Reviews. Check out the awesome folks at Moons of Vega Photography, Slice Print Roleplay 3D Printing Forum, and WXPI Radio of Williamsport. Let them know that Hugh sent you. If you have a movie you'd like me to review, drop me a line at hughreviewsmovies@gmail.com. And as always, happy viewing!